This is taking a weird corner.
It's cock. It's a cock. No, it's not cola. It's a cock.
What are we doing? I mean, I'm sorry. We don't have a format for our show.
It's
so
okay.
We're just like talking about
Well,
whatever.
that's what podcasts are, though,
Yeah.
right?
Hey, everybody. If you're not living in Korea, or even if you do, but you've never had the locals experience, go check out KoreanTourGuide.com. You get personalized tours, and you just party like a local, and that's probably the best way to enjoy a new country. So again, check out KoreanTourGuide.com. Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to the Nunchi podcast. Today is actually a special episode because we have officially our first guest on the Nunchi podcast. Give it up for Hanna Kim, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome to the
Hannah.
show, Hannah.
Ah, wow. Thanks for having me.
You are the first guest of the Nunchi
Hey,
podcast.
Danny, you got some koktakji on your nose. You gotta take that other side.
You do. Do you need a tissue?
Just leave it on there.
Do you need a tissue?
Here, here's a 물수건 or a 물 tissue.
물수건.
A 물 tissue.
아, 그쪽 아니고 왼쪽.
What is it? A booger for
You
real?
gotta like pat in there.
Oh.
It's a
Get
real
it, get
booger?
it. Yeah, it's a real
Should we
booger.
start over or no?
No.
This is
No,
all good.
let's do it.
You don't mind?
Okay, so Hannah, as I'm sounding nasally,
Yes.
first of all, thank you for agreeing to be on our show.
No, thank you for having me.
For those that don't know, Hannah and I have a very, very long history of maybe 2 years. Right? I originally met Hannah when I was a guest on our mutual friend's radio show, Amy Aaliyah's radio show. And that's where I met Hannah, and we were both weekly guests where we became life hack experts.
Yes.
Oh, I remember this.
That was such
Yeah,
an unnecessary corner for me, but yes.
They were like, Danny, are you a life hack expert? I was like, who the fuck is a life hack expert? I'm a Google YouTube expert.
Right.
And then so what happened was we would have a competition where Amy would decide who the winner, who brought the best life hacks of the week are, and then we'd get punished.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
So who usually had the best life hacks?
We just kind of decided during the song breaks.
Yeah. So who
So it's like, Danny, you lose this week.
I'm like,
Hannah,
alright.
you lose this week, right?
who wants to do dumb shit next week in my company? Like I had to
like,
be in makeup, full like woman makeup.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I had to
well,
come in, remember in the summer, I had to come in with all winter gear on.
Yeah, mad like
Yeah.
Oh,
like
it was hot.
what
Yeah.
you lost once and you had to imitate Cardi B. You remember that?
Oh, my God.
Do you remember when you had to imitate?
Can you do some of that
No,
right now?
I cannot. So Cardi B, is she still on Instagram anymore?
I think so.
She has the most ridiculous videos, but it's so entertaining. Like she would eat a lobster, and she'd be like, "Guys, this is what I'm eating," and that's
That wasn't no. You were way good with the Cardi B thing. You're like, oh my goodness, like it was very good.
And she does those like weird voice. No, those weird sounds, right? Where they're like,
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
So Hannah, I met you through that, but I really we never really talked about like your whole story.
Yeah,
You know, so
yeah.
I know you have a radio show on TBS from
Yes.
6 to 8 p.m. Correct? Called The Scoop.
Yes.
But and you used to have a corner. I don't know if you still do. Every Mondays you bring someone in, right?
Issue maker.
Issue maker. So pretend that you are today's issue maker
Okay.
for us.
Okay.
A shoemaker, like a.
Issue.
Issue, a shoemaker. That's the corner's name.
Why don't
Issue
you just
maker.
call it the cobbler?
The cobbler.
Segment.
So
I'm sorry.
Hannah, where are you from?
Well, I was born in Korea. My parents went to the States when I was 3. I lived in New Jersey my whole life.
Oh, Jersey girl.
Jersey. Just in case any of your
The
listeners are.
armpit of America.
That's what they say. But I lived in one of the most suburb like towns.
Oh, 자랑질 right
Yeah.
now.
I lived in Jersey too for a little bit.
I love New Jersey. There's no tax on
That's
clothes
right.
and shoes.
That's
yeah.
right. There's no tax on clothes.
It's great. And then I went to school in Michigan, where evidently I had met Bobby.
Yeah. That's right. I keep forgetting this fact.
Yeah, I met him before I met you, Danny. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, why did you meet Bobby at Michigan?
This was, I think, 2010, right?
I don't remember.
So
It's like-
you mentioned on one of your episodes that you were president of the KSA.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Yeah.
too. And so when we had our
Ah.
culture show, we had invited Bobby as a musical guest.
yeah, I do remember. I remember going to that show.
You were
in
so
Michigan.
great. You were so great.
I
I
re-
wish you could bring back music. More music.
Yeah, I would do it if there was demand. It's like,
Everyone on the Nunchi podcast, they just need to see you do it.
yeah, I mean, it's secretly my way to get people to listen to it because the intro and outro music is big phony music.
It's his song.
Yeah.
But I remember that show. Was it 2010?
It was 2010 because I was actually not a. It was either 2009 or 2010. I
Okay.
was not a president my senior year. I was president junior year.
Okay.
And I graduated 2011, which is why I'm assuming that it's sometime 2010, 2009.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember doing that show because I never got flew out anywhere to go except for Michigan. Perhaps.
Really?
Yeah. No, that's not true. But
Yeah.
Yeah, we
But-
did gigs together.
I remember I met a couple other artists out there, like Johnny Flo.
Johnny Flo,
right?
yeah. Danny Chung was there too.
Danny
no?
Chung, yeah.
Suno was there too.
Suno was there
Uh-huh.
too. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
we met a lot
Also,
of
you
people that.
you had that crew, that Philly, that crew.
Yeah. New York,
Yeah.
Philly. Yeah.
It's funny. There was a time when Bobby and I started like what we did, like stand up and music. As an Asian American, it was kind of impossible. It was an impossible dream to be like,
Yeah.
we're gonna get flown out of our hometown to do gigs.
Yeah.
Like that was like impossible, right? And then we started like doing gigs like at Madison, Wisconsin, and
Right.
we've done
Danny and I-
Michigan.
We flew to some places together.
Right.
Right. We went to Berkeley.
We've done Berkeley together.
Yeah.
And I've done like East Coast runs where I was like SUNY Geneseo and Stony Brook
SUNY's, right,
and
that's-
like the Syracuse.
The New York State schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like we traveled the country going, oh my God, this is crazy that we're doing it.
Yeah.
But now everyone does it. It's not
I don't know.
It's not as impressive and amazing, as it used to be. And like hearing the fact that like you performed, you were an adult when she was still a student,
Yeah. Yeah.
makes you feel old as shit, don't it?
Well, we
I'm
were.
old now, so that means you're.
Oh my goodness. let's change the subject. on
존나
age again.
늙었어, right?
But we were back then. We didn't have Instagram or we had Facebook.
We had Facebook.
Right?
Yeah.
Zanga was out the door.
That's true.
No, that
Yeah.
was Zynga was when I was like in middle school.
Yeah. That's zero e props for you, right?
E-props. Oh
Zero
my gosh.
zero
Oh my goodness.
Friendster.
Yeah.
Friendster.
So
Anyway.
so you went to
Michigan.
University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, and then my question is, what made you come back to Korea?
Okay, so yeah, it's a really long story, but I had thought I wanted to go to Ross originally, which is the business school at UMich, and then I realized this is not for me. Like I realized like I didn't enjoy econ. Like the first class I took was like supply and demand with all those graphs and everything. I really, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
econ majors, you guys know it up and down.
I'm an international econ major, so
Oh, you
It's
guys
like-
have okay.
yeah.
It was so boring. 솔직히 얘기해서 너무 재미없었어요.
It sounds boring.
It's so boring.
Not something that you use
But
for work.
but this is the thing. Like I would watch like all these cool Hollywood movies, and I thought I would run Wall Street, thinking that I'm from New Jersey. I wanted to just go to Manhattan. You know, I wanted to live that life. You know, the city girl life. I wanted to go into finance. I wanted to make a lot of money. 진짜, I wanted to make lots of money. And then I realized, like, I don't think I would ever be happy. I wouldn't be happy. And luckily, when you're a freshman, you get to try different things. And at the time, I had tried a communications class. And somehow it worked well for me. I got very lucky. My professors really cared a lot about me, encouraged me a lot. I got good grades. I really enjoyed the content.
What did you do in communications class? What kind of Yeah, I'm not.
Oh well,
familiar with it, like-
at the time, smartphones started developing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when digital media really took turn.
Okay.
And then we would talk about journalism,
Uh-huh.
ethics of journalism, minorities in media, like all these little
Did
things.
you do test runs as like a fake DJ session or like
I
a
didn't
TV
do that.
show
That I didn't
host
do,
kind
but
of
we
thing?
had a 방송국, which is
Mm-hmm.
like a broadcast inside the college, and I worked for there.
Oh,
Doing
yeah.
what? Doing what?
I don't want to say anything, but yeah, I was part of that. And so
Okay.
that's what was like kind of my first on-air experience, which was terrible. It was just so terrible. I don't know if they'll have the files still. That was like back in the day. But what really...
Come on, netizens.
Yeah.
Find out!
Find it
찾아.
first.
Find out!
She was probably a weather girl or something, or sports. Sports.
But you know what? I in any case, I thought
잘 씹네.
I would go into maybe just media, just in general, maybe like production side of it. I thought I would work for a broadcast studio, like
Okay.
maybe do behind the scenes stuff, maybe even get ads, do the sales. I don't even know. Like, well, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I just majored in media and I majored in political science, and then I actually got a few internships along the way. I worked for MBC, which is the Korean broadcast. It's Channel 11
Oh,
in
yeah.
Korea. 네, 11번. I worked for
Oh.
their news team. Yeah. And then that's when I met my, like, the 언니 that kind of trained me. She was an AD at the time, and she was preparing to become an announcer.
Wait, you were working for NBC.
Summer internship.
Oh, summer so in Korea.
Yeah.
Came out here.
Yeah, and that's when, at the time, President MB was president. So there was a lot going on at the time. President Obama was president then, and yeah, I would do a little bit of translating. I would you just learned what the news team was like,
Yeah,
So I learned all of that.
That's a good internship.
It
to
is a
have.
great internship.
Yeah.
It's a great internship. And at the time, if it wasn't for this one 언니 who was actually preparing to become an announcer, so you see her practicing like 서울시에 whatever, like in Korean, right? And then she had like the short haircut. At the time, announcers all had this like uniform haircut.
Oh, really?
She would go to hagwon and she would kind of practice and do her homework while she was resting. So I would kind of watch what she was doing, and I thought, like,
I can do better than
let
you.
me. Will I ever be able to do this? I'm not a tall girl. I'm not a pretty girl. I had really like low self-esteem at the time. I never thought that I could do on-air stuff. So it just crossed my mind. Maybe one day I will be able to do on-air stuff. And then I went back to the States after. And then luckily I finished my junior year, and then I got another internship, and this was at NBC Universal, 30 Rock in Manhattan, which was, wow, that was beyond now. Now I get to
Very
work for the
cool.
news team there.
Yeah.
So I met a lot of great people. But again, now I see, I got NBC experience. So I got
Yeah.
the Korean broadcast experience. And then I got the Manhattan, like, NBC Universal experience.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I didn't belong in either of them. One was, like, super Korean, and I cannot speak Korean very fluently. And then, like, NBC Universal, I was looking at everyone on camera. Most of them were white. And I don't think I can.
You were the
do that. Yeah.
bulgogi burger of.
The bulgogi burger.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not like I'm not fluent in English either. So I felt like I didn't have that look to make it in Hollywood or wherever in the States. And so, and at the time, it was that recession, 2008, sorry, excuse me,
Yeah.
2008 to 2000, I'm going to say 10 was really hard. It was hard for anyone to get a job at the time. And yeah, I feel like it's happening all over again right now because of
Yeah.
coronavirus. But it was basically like that. So I'm really worried about the seniors right now graduating. However, so yeah, at the time I couldn't really, I didn't even look for jobs. It was to the point where I was just like, you know what? I think this is the only time I should try this. So I moved out to Korea.
Yeah.
I moved out to Korea in 2011
Okay.
without anything. I just came out and I said to my dad, Appa, like, if I don't try this, I think I'm going to regret it. So give me 6 months. Like, just give me
Wow.
6 months to try this. And, like, 정말 I want to become an announcer.
Yeah.
And at the time, my dad said, 네가 announcer? Like, 말도 안 되는 소리 하지 말라고. Like, especially in Korea, you're going to have so, 힘이 있어야 되고, 뭐, 돈이 있어야 되고, 뭐, I don't know. He was just kind of basically discouraging me from doing it because he wants me to stay in New Jersey. He just wants
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
He
I
basically
get it.
wanted me to just get a job in New York and just 결혼할 때까지
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
just like work at a company, corporate job, just but I said, let me just try it. Let me just try. He sent me no money. Like it was
What?
like, yeah, I know. I was
No
straight out of
support.
car, no support. So I it's so hard to believe because a
Yeah.
lot of my friends know that I like bougie things, and I sometimes I'm just a girl, So I
Why is that
I
hard to
enjoy-
believe?
I just nice stuff, but at the time, no,
Right.
but at the time, I lived in like a 7평짜리 like 고시원 type of
Oh.
yeah,
7평.
very
That's
very
like-
small.
Is that bigger than
I think
my
it's about
place?
this room, but
About this room?
Yeah, about this room.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, he lived in something smaller.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
No, I moved here in 2011 as well.
Oh, okay.
And I had nothing.
Nothing.
I had $900.
Yeah, me too.
my name. Yeah.
About that much.
And
yeah.
I showed up one suitcase and a guitar, and then I
Yeah.
lived at Jinjubang's
Oh, you did. Okay.
for like the first month.
He ghettoed it a little bit.
And then I
yeah.
나보다
found...
더 심하네. I was gonna give you my tear jerking story, but like.
I'm just like, oh, come on, I heard
I was
that.
like, get out of here. What you know about poor?
Okay. Well, 아니,
Did
뭐
you live in a
찜질방-
반지하?
아니요. 그거까지는
Okay.
아니었는데.
Oh,
I
that's
lived,
not...
I had a yoga mat as a bed.
Yoga? Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
그
Okay,
진짜,
that's bad.
진짜, that's what I'm
bad.
saying. Like
That's tough.
I like nice
Yeah.
things. I like nice things.
Yeah.
But 어쨌든 mattress 살 돈이 없으니까 I didn't have money to buy a mattress, so I used a yoga mat first, and then I would
Yeah.
pile blankets on top of it and sleep on the ground. I did that for quite a long time. And
You gotta... Who's gonna buy the movie rights to this? This already sounds like it's
Yeah.
gonna turn out to be a good
Parasite
movie.
2.
Parasite. Do you guys want to hear the rest of it though?
Yeah,
Is
absolutely.
it-
I'm
is
sorry. I
this
keep
interesting,
cutting
though?
you off. I'm
I
sorry.
feel bad. I feel like your listeners don't even care.
No.
that's okay.
Keep going. We just like to comment, like do like a
yeah.
a real time comment.
Yeah, we're like hoogings at a movie theater.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Wow, that's bad racist.
Please edit that. Please
Yeah.
edit that.
Oh, that's the wrong one. We don't have a.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
편집.
so what happened within
Yeah.
that 6 months that you were here?
It was hard because actually, like within the first 2 months, I got hit by a car.
Ooh.
Like
Damn.
진짜. So I thought this
Okay.
was a sign for me saying like you don't belong here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like you have to go back. Like nothing's working out for you health wise, financially. Basically, I'm so lucky, and I really want to thank 선배들 for this. But 아리랑 TV gave me an internship. And it was an unpaid internship.
Okay.
And I remember going in for that interview too. First of all, I came from the States not having a job. I came for an internship interview that I might have not even gotten.
Wow. Okay.
And at that internship, like I would talk to two of my 선배님 and they gave me the job, but at the time they said 되게 당돌했다고, which meant like you're very bold, and that's why we wanted you as an intern. And I told them like I eventually want to be on-air personality, and it just happened. So basically my schedule would be from like 9 to 6. I would work at Arirang TV for free, unpaid internship, just doing nothing, the office work, and just kind of getting a sense of what the broadcasting studio is like. And then at night from 7 to 11, I would tutor. I would go tutor for 4 hours, and then every day the same cycle over and over again. Because I have to make
you have
money.
to make money.
I have
Sure.
to make money to pay for rent. I need to make money to even eat ramyeon, So, yeah.
East Coast hustle, baby.
Yeah, I worked
Yeah.
really hard. What happened to that, Hannah?
Oh,
what happened to that, Hannah?
Now you work
What are you
hard
talking
still.
about?
No. And I remember that's when I got hit on my way to tutoring. I got hit by a car.
Oof.
And that's when I was like, what if, so this is what crossed my head. It wasn't that, did I break a bone? Did something happen to me? It was just like, 나 과외 못하면, if I can't tutor, how am I going to make money? 이 생각하고, I always thought, what if there's an audition and I can't make it to the audition because I'm lying at the hospital bed? 이 생각밖에 안 드는 거예요, 계속. Do you understand? Like, that's how
Yeah.
desperate I was, and that's how hungry I was to just try this. And literally sitting in the hospital for 2 weeks, I just wanted to get out, and I wanted to work, and I wanted to just do anything I could, right? Well, eventually I healed. And then, they were doing 개편, they were doing the fall news season, and they said, we're going to hire for radio. And I auditioned, and I thought I didn't get it because I did terribly. My reading was terrible. Like, I stuttered so much. Luckily, I got it. And then I started off as a weekly guest, and then things grew. Like, one show became 2 shows. And then while I was on radio, they were like, hey, the news team, they're going to hire weathercasters and reporters. Why don't you do a camera test? Again, I did it. I thought I didn't get it. A week before programming started, they said, you got it. So I had a week to train for something that I was not ready for, obviously, but I did it. And then I was a weathercaster for 2 years, every single day. And that was a 6 a.m. news program too. So I would wake up at 4 a.m. And again, mind you that I'm living in this like 7평짜리 house. They don't have hot water at that time. So they turn on warm water. They turn on warm water starting 7 a.m. But I have to wash my hair at 4 a.m. to go on air, right?
Yeah.
So 4 a.m. I'm showering cold water even if it's negative degrees. So that's how 좀 많이 고생했어요. 처음에는 정말 많이 고생했어요.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure.
Who do you think is gonna play you in the movie? Who do you want to play in the movie?
The thing is this. I think
you?
I think everyone goes through a phase where I really think that there are people who went through more than what I went through. 정말. I really firmly believe my story is nothing compared to everyone else. And I still think that I have to hustle more to make an impact. But I haven't been hustling the way I did when I first got here, 2011, 2012.
I think you're not giving yourself enough credit.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know what I say is there's working hard and then there's working smart, right? And so especially when you're younger, it's more like, fuck it, I have the energy, I can do whatever, out 2 hours of sleep, fuck it, I can do it, right? But then you get to a point where you're like, all right, like I can figure out how to hustle but not like kill myself doing it, right? And so, you know, as you get older, I feel like you get more hip and wise to what you need to do. And so maybe I mean, look, man, I'm old. I can't be doing what you do, and that like I
cannot do what I did back then too.
Yeah,
I cannot.
And then look at this fucking 아저씨 늙은이 over here. He just pishiked us. Did you see that? He smirked at us. He did the psh.
Yeah, I respect the old me. 어떻게 보면, I respect the old me.
So now I met you through the radio, and you have a show now.
Yes.
I know that you also had like opportunities in terms of being a presenter, announcer at what, the Pyeongchang Olympics?
Yeah.
Right?
That's another story. So I've told you my life story is too long, but 2011 was when I first started at Arirang, right?
Yeah.
I was watching live coverage, and this is after I just came back from my car accident, and I was just back, and I literally was watching the news, right? And that's when they got the bid for the Pyeongchang Olympics. South Korea got the bid for Pyeongchang Olympics. That was when Kim Yona was there. Again, President MB was there.
That's right.
Na Seung-yeon, she was there. They got the bid, and I looked at the screen, and I'm like, I'm gonna stay here for the next 7 years to do that. I literally told myself on the spot as soon as they got the bid, and I didn't know how to get there. I didn't know how to get there. Do I contact the IOC directly? Do I work with a network here so I can kind of make my way to there? And I was just like, whatever it is, I need to get there. And in order to do that, I need to train myself to be better. So whether it's my voice or whether it's the way I speak, whether it's the way I present, whether even if it's visually, aesthetically, like if I need to lose weight, I'll do it. Like if I need to look at camera angles, if I need to act to kind of work on my expression, like 7 years, I'll be there. 6 years flew by, and I still had no idea what was going to happen for the Pyeongchang Olympics. And even that, when I went in for the interview, they were like, "Your English is great, but your Korean is not that good." And I was like, this is a global event, you know. I mean, as much as like we need to cater to Korean audiences, I think having my English skills would be very good for you guys. You know, I just kind of, I don't know, I was selling myself. And at first I remember they hired about 14 MCs, and then they didn't have the money to do it. So they brought it down to about 6
Damn.
at the time. Yeah, they didn't have money to do it. So, and then we got a pay cut. It was crazy. And at first I didn't make I don't even think I made the 6 at first. I'm not really sure what happened in between. And can you imagine how devastated I was? You know, like 7 years I was just working for this, and then they told me I got it, and then they said, oh, I'm sorry, we don't have the money to have everyone there. And so that time I was like, this is my dream. And so I didn't know what to do. I really didn't know what to do, and I felt really devastated. I remember calling one of the organizers, and he's like, I'm really sorry. Like, we didn't know that this is going to happen too. It was really hard for us. And I said, you know what? Like, I cannot compare myself to an athlete, but like, I know this happens every 4 years and once in a lifetime in Korea, but like for 7 years since I've been here, this is all I wanted to do. If a spot opens up, please let me know. And then it happened, so one of the MCs, they dropped out.
Nice.
They were like, 이동 갖고 절대 안 해요.
Nice.
절대 안 해요, 이동 갖고는. And so it was, yay! And, yeah. So then I got it. I got really lucky because I got to be at the hockey stadium, which was also a really great experience for me. I love ice hockey. It's one of my favorite sports. And
was it always your favorite sport?
it became my favorite sport after 2018.
Okay, got it.
After 2018.
Well,
And,
I'm trying to figure out though, like what part in the movie is she visiting the Nunchi podcast? Things got bad.
Things got
She's
bad.
too much time on her hands.
But there's one. See, usually in a movie, right? There's a few ups and downs.
Yeah.
So I think this is gonna be a little bit on the downturn before you pick back up as in your story, right? This is like I don't want to say rock bottom, but it's close. It's close to rock bottom. Because the Nunchi podcast is, I don't know. I mean, you are obviously very positive, and you're like, oh my god, this place is great. You made it look like it was a piece of shit, but it's not. Well, you didn't say piece of shit, but I put that. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like this vibe that we have going on.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this ain't TBS, CFM, or whatever.
Yeah, I
We
can
are-
curse. For 9 years, I've never cursed on air.
But you still haven't.
You
today.
haven't yet.
You
Yeah.
haven't yet.
진짜.
Are you holding it in, or is
Yeah.
it? Is
Oh
it-
my gosh.
Say it when you want.
What's the first thing I should say?
Oh, don't say this.
I love this, by the way. I love this. I didn't even say that word. 신발, 신발.
Shinbar. Well, we're about. So as you know, we're in what do you call this? A chanko.
Yeah.
I love it.
We call it the chanko studios
yeah.
because we're technically in a chanko.
In a chanko, right?
But we actually have to take a break in a couple of minutes here. So we'll wind out. When we come back, we're going to actually talk about we're going to do Dear Korea with you, right? But we're also going to keep the party going,
The party.
Yay.
right? And then after we come back, Hannah's going to swear some for us.
Yes. Maybe she
she's
can
gonna
teach us Korean words. Korean
No,
words.
I don't know how. When I drive.
All right, so we'll be right back, guys. If you like to drink and you are a fan of the Nunchi podcast, we have some great news for you. Go to Itaewon, and in Itaewon there's a wonderful bar called Blacklist. Our friend Chris, the owner, said that all Nunchi podcast fans will get a free shot of Jameson. So go find Chris, say you're a fan of the Nunchi podcast, and free booze on us. That's fucking awesome. If you don't like pizza, can't be friends. If you like pizza, go to Tom's Pizza. It's in between Chincheon and Hongdae. They have great pizza, great wings. Matter of fact, in my opinion, the best buffalo wings in Korea. So go to Tom's Pizza, tell them you're a fan of the Nunchi podcast, and Tom will give you a free shot of tequila. Booze, pizza, wings, good food, good music. Tom's Pizza is shit. Go check it out. You know, in a time of self-quarantine, you know what's to me the most important thing, aside from not leaving, is to stay at home with very comfortable clothes. The friends at Standard Issue Tees has super, super comfortable clothes, from t-shirts to hoodies to sweatsuits to thermals to even jeans. So go to standardissuetees.com. On checkout, type in the promo code Nunchi for a 10% discount. there's a fly. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with our guest Hanna Kim. She, the first half, she was kind of telling us about her journey, from MBC to NBC Universal to Arirang TV. By the way, every time I flip on the Arirang news channel, why does their accent sound weird to me?
I can't comment on that because I didn't hire any of the announcers, but I know what you mean.
Oh man, you are so politically. She's politically PC because I'd be like, yo, you sound fucking 이상해 when you speak English. Just like I sound weird when I do speak Korean. But they some of the people, they sound weird, man.
Another thing is, no offense, but it's not my part of it, I can't be like, you need to talk better, I can't be like, speak clearly. I can't say that, it's not my problem, it's your problem. On the other hand, if
you can't be like, 씨발 똑바로 해.
너 영어 어디서 배웠어? 씨발 너 어디서 배웠어? 너 영어.
너 유학한 거 맞아?
Man.
Yeah, but if it's my show, then I have some say in it,
right. Mad Yana dude, that's all you did, stupid. Like you have that 경상도 English. The word pollution is the no, but it's weird, and so it fucking bums me out, dude. Like
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I know.
So, but she was very politically correct. She even said no offense, but which is always means fucking mad offense, yo.
But I have a question. So you're at the radio station like 5 days a week?
I used to be 6 days a week.
Oh my goodness.
I used to work 6 days live.
But you still have to go. They're making you go in clearly every day to record.
Yes.
You're sharing these like booths with other guests and hosts, right?
Yeah.
Do you have like your own mic and do you have to clean it down and stuff, like desanitized?
Well, it was really cool because one time I was doing the live show, so it's from 6 to 8, right? So at 7 p.m., these guys in uniform, like, the Corona suits, they came in and they sanitized the studio.
Good.
They
Nice.
disinfected it, which I thought was so cool. My producer, right? She was like, 하나 씨 나오세요 for a second. And I'm like, why? And then they come in, like a massive crowd, and they just sprayed down the whole studio, which I thought was incredible. And I said, who sent them in? The government sent them in.
Oh, right. TBS is a government.
It was.
Run?
Now it's independent.
Oh, really?
Now
it's
independent. They created their own foundation.
Nice. TBS, I'm also looking for a full-time radio gig.
No, I'm not letting you go that easy. I'm not doing this show by myself.
I'm looking for a full-time radio gig if you need someone to be funny.
Said, if you need any producers,
I'm not letting you go.
You two would be awesome. Awesome. I love this, by the way. I listen to every single episode. I literally analyze your pauses. Yeah, I love it so much. You guys did such a great job creating it, and I hope Nunchi podcast does so well. I'm so honored to be your first guest.
Thank you.
That's 진짜 너무 감사합니다. But the one thing you said was, you guys said, this is gonna be in Korean and English, but you guys only speak English.
Oh yeah.
I'll do the Korean part.
지금부터 한국말로 할까? Okay.
I'll do a little bit of Korean for you guys.
한국말 할 때 되게 어려워요. 왜냐면 저는 스탠드업으로만 한국말 하지 그냥 대화는 좀 빡치네.
네, 그렇죠.
그리고 반말은 잘 못해요.
But you have to 반말 to all of us. I think you can 반말 to everybody in this building right now because you're the oldest one.
Bobby, you look so young. What's your secret?
My secret?
Yeah. Are you stress free? Like what's going on? Do you wear sunscreen?
I'm actually, I'm pretty sure what it is. It's living a life of being unhappy because the less and less you smile, the less wrinkles you'll get.
Oh.
Yeah,
right.
So I live a pretty sad life. It's basically when you're 2011 when you came to Korea. That has been my life for the past 40 years. I've been living in small spaces, and I've been You know, sleeping on a yoga mat pretty much all my life, so not much smiling going on.
It was funny though when you hit her with the not smiling
Yeah.
causes no wrinkles.
Yeah.
Like Hannah's reaction was very like almost Korean variety show, like oh.
방청객.
Yeah.
That's my nickname, 방청객.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
you
know,
know-
whenever I 술자리, right? Someone
Yeah.
says something and I'm like, 막 이렇게. It's just, I don't know why, but it's just, it's not even funny, but I just react to them.
We're gonna make a sound effects with Hannah's responses.
No,
Let's do it.
no, because straight up. So backstory, it's there's no set release date yet, but Hannah was in the audience
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
of my comedy taping,
맞아.
and
Yeah.
I was like, Hannah, that don't even sound real, right?
아니, 진짜 for his, like, 진짜 오버했어요. Like,
I know.
camera
Yeah.
보고 할게요.
That's why we had to cut it out.
No, Danny was said something, right? And I'm like, ah!
And I'm like,
goodness.
And
and
I looked at the person next to me and I'm like, oh my god, 너무 웃겨, 어떡해. 막 이러고
and I was like, I could hear very
I could hear you
clearly.
too. I was at both tapings, and I was like, "It ain't that funny." Somebody knows Danny. So-
And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
People are gonna be like, dude, 쟤 돈 주고
It's like-
알바 시켰어? What the fuck, man?
Just
So-
supporting a friend.
Yeah.
But that's a good
Supporting
idea.
friend.
We should get you. I mean, you've done like voice acting and stuff like that. So maybe you can do some sound effects for us here.
Sure,
We'll
whatever
record
you
your
want.
voice. I want to get one of those. On the variety shows when people respond, oh, like that. I want to get that kind of stuff.
Because you know what? Like to me, it sounds like Koreans trying to teach 외국인s how to speak Korean. Like oh,
Like Coca-Cola.
oh. I'm like, what the fuck were you?
Have you seen that Coca-Cola one?
No.
Oh, that one?
No. It's just she's. It's like an. I'm sorry. Maybe we'll put. Maybe we can play it. Actually, can we play it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Danny sent me a link to it. Anyway, while you guys discuss.
It's about that this English teacher that was trying to teach Koreans how to speak English, and then the line was, "Can I have cola?" But in America, apparently, people don't know what cola is.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
actually cock. She said, "Can I have some cock, please?" And I was like, "What?" In America, no. When I say "Can I have a cola," they don't understand. But when I say "Can I have a cock," everybody understand. I was like, I don't think they understand the same thing what you're talking about, right? But
I can't find it. We'll find it for next
oh,
time. but-
dude, that made me. I saw that like years ago, and I was like, this is what they're sharing. This is how English is being taught. That's why the folks at Arirang, some of them, they can't speak English. I want. You know what? I want every anchor in Arirang to say Coca-Cola. Cock. Cock.
They're great.
When I ask flight attendants that, can I get a cola? And she asked me, excuse me? I keep saying, cola, cola, cola. But it was not cola, it was cock. It was cock. It's cock actually.
What?
Right?
Where are you guys getting
So
this?
maybe a few
I don't know. We gotta stop it there, baby. This is taking a weird corner.
It's cock. It's a cock. No, it's not cola. It's a cock.
What are we doing? I mean, I'm sorry. We don't have a format for our show,
It's
so we're
okay.
just like talk about
Well,
whatever
that's what
we want.
podcasts are, though,
Yeah.
right? They
Yeah.
have no format. That's what it's
Oh,
supposed to
man.
be. I like the rawness of it.
We were actually anyway. We were talking. Danny and I were talking about coronavirus, like as everyone else is. But we're a comedy show,
Yeah,
So how do we
yeah.
actually make light of it, right?
Yeah.
And so
Which
we
is
actually-
hard,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah. So to change the subject for a second here,
from cock.
we thought of this like a app that we want to make.
Okay.
I don't know. We don't know how to make it, but maybe somebody listening could help us. Like, it's an app basically with different kinds of coughs on it. So you're just like when you're surrounded by people,
You just
and
go.
just like that.
This is a
That.
get away from me move, like cough, cough, cough.
Yeah. And then we had this other idea, right? It's like based on kind of our reality last week. I think you saw the episode where I thought I might have sharted. And
Yeah,
I
you went a
smell-
little too long about that. 화장실 가는 거에 대해서.
But we want to make. We have
yeah,
an
yeah.
idea about making a cologne.
That smells
that
like
smells
shit.
like
Yeah.
dong.
Yeah.
Why would you make that, and who would use it?
Well, just to keep the social distancing
Yeah, so
thing,
people
you know,
don't
like to keep people like 10 feet away from you, or
Right.
like at least 6 feet away from you.
But then you would have to smell it all the time.
It's all right.
Yeah, but you know, if you really want to keep people away from you, you just spray that on you, that dong smell, and clearly people will figure out that you're the one that smells, right? It's like, is this not genius in these times? Like,
I mean, ultimately, I'm thinking if you don't give a fuck about the way if other people like look at you, and if you're not
Yeah.
self-conscious, then you're
clearly
fine.
you've never been married. You know, like,
No.
you guys like, all right, sorry, 여보. 미안합니다. My wife is just.
Oh.
난 부러워요. I'm just so I see. Aren't they so cute?
Oh yeah.
They're so cute, and your son is so adorable.
thank
너무
you.
예뻐요. 너무
Thank you.
예뻐요. You did well.
Thank you.
My thought about what I saw that kind of interested me, or kind of made me giggle a little bit, was, you know, when coronavirus first started hitting, and then you see like the world rankings, like who has
Yeah,
the most
yeah,
cases,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
It was like China, and then like, you know, it was all mostly Asian countries, right?
Yeah.
And so you know how the Olympics, they got postponed?
Yeah.
Like, to me, it was like the Summer Olympics, and they started, the first few days was like they were playing the Asian sports, like ping pong or archery, and that's why all the Asian countries started getting the numbers high, right? But now
Number of medals.
yeah, like with some number of medal count, that's what it looked like to me. And then
So
now
China was on top
Yeah.
at first,
Yeah.
and
then now like US, like Italy,
going over to swimming now.
yeah, swimming and track and field are being played now because
Oh, man.
US is dominating in the confirmed cases number. They're fucking kicking ass right now.
Oh man, not funny, but funny.
No, because you know you have a family member that works in the healthcare industry in New York, where
Yeah.
that's where it's
It's getting bad.
pretty fucking
Yeah.
bad, right? And then you're from the East
I'm
Coast
from
too.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
New York and New Jersey have the most cases right now, and like my friend's a nurse too, and she was like, "We don't have any masks. They give us one a week." And this
Oh,
is not,
goodness.
it just broke my heart. And you know, we get in line to get the K94 masks now, two
Yeah.
a week.
Yeah.
I'm sending mine to her right now. Like I'm just giving it.
I haven't even gotten in line for it. Like, we don't need it. We have plenty of masks at home, so we
Yeah.
haven't been picking up. Where do you pick those up, by the way?
Any pharmacy, 약국.
Okay.
You just go, and based on the birth year, you just go.
Yeah.
Korea is that's so amazing. They have systems for everything. They have policies for everything. You know, so based on like whether you're born in 82 or 89 or 91 or 96, the last digit of your birth year, that's when you can go on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
Yeah.
And if you can't go during the weekday, on Saturday, Sunday is for everyone.
Okay.
If they have any stock left, that is.
Yeah, because they always, you know, like I always go to the pharmacy once a week because of I have to get meds for my skin. You know, I have psoriasis,
Yeah.
and there's a line out there too. I'm like, what the fuck? Like in the you know, so it's kind of crazy. But you know, like it's better than what I know, what I hear of back home in terms of the lack of masks, like it's a ghost town.
Yeah.
I mean, in Korea, I got a text maybe this weekend where it was like, all right, if you don't need to go out, you just don't go out, right? You know, but there isn't yo, fuck it, you're an asshole if you go out. Like, there's still people going out and hanging out, which is not necessarily safe, but it doesn't make me that I'm not as panicky as if I were back home, where it's like just like you can't go out.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
I mean, Seoul has a low has an actual low level of deaths,
Right.
right?
Right.
Compared to other cities in Korea. So it makes it a little bit more, you know, you feel a little bit more comfortable going out, even though a lot of people are still self-quarantining.
Did you see that video that someone sent us? The Indian social distancing video.
What's that?
So
Oh yeah.
So there was a cop with a bakdegi, and anyone that was out, like he would fucking hit him to go back home, like literally, like
in India.
Yeah, and like smacking motherfuckers. They're like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
like
Just smacking them.
Just smacking them if they're like on a scooter or whatever. Like I don't know what he's saying, but he's like smacking fools to go back inside, and just a compilation of this Indian cop just memming motherfuckers.
But it's just
right?
it looks like an old video, and
Right.
someone just sent it saying, "Hey,
Yeah,
this
of
is what
course.
he's doing," but
Yeah.
it's like an actual old video.
You know,
It's just-
I know you guys are a comedy show, but like my friend had mentioned something that like kind of scared me. She was saying like, what if this is our norm from now on?
Oh,
Like this is it. Like from now on, everyone's wearing masks all the time. Like this virus is not. What if it doesn't go away?
yeah.
The whole world. I'm not just talking about just Korea. I'm not just
Well-
talking about the States. If this is our new norm, like, what's gonna happen? That's
A lot
really
of people
scary.
are gonna get sankapo susu, right?
No, because I feel like it's gonna be like the flu shot, like the seasonal flu shot, where you're gonna get the seasonal corona shot once the vaccine has, once they're tested and made and whatnot, whenever that comes into production, right? So
Right.
it comes from people getting like crazy and sick about it to eventually, like it won't be vanish. It won't vanish from our whatever our lives, but I think it might be more like the TB shot, like tuberculosis. Motherfuckers were dying from TB, like when we were, not
Back in the day.
back in the days, right? So it might be one of those shots that you have to get when you're a baby,
But
later
even,
down
but
the
even
line.
worse, I mean, being the norm, as in like self-quarantining,
Yeah.
like not being able to go out,
Wearing a
like,
mask
if that's
everywhere
the
you
norm,
go.
that's kind of scary.
It is.
That is scary
Comes,
because
like movie like Contagion,
Yeah.
like those movies are.
I just feel bad for like small business owners because they are and people that work at these small businesses like restaurants back home, where they're getting they're not making any money. Even
Right.
if they don't pay rent, they still can't pay workers.
Right, exactly.
Right. So Trump trying to give like $1,200 don't really do
if
anything.
it does become the norm, and we're losing all these jobs and industries. For instance, like Amazon was saying, they have more room to hire people. Like come to Amazon and work, because now their workload is going up.
Yeah.
And there's other industries that are doing well. Like everyone's on watching Netflix and YouTube, and so maybe those industries will make more jobs. Maybe there's a balance that's gonna happen that we just haven't foreseen yet. But I don't know. We're humans. We'll figure it out. But
Yeah, in Vegas, the strip club is trying to make a drive-through
Get out.
peep show. Yeah.
what?
Don't lie. Don't lie. Really?
Drive-through
Really?
peep
I'm
show?
gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Oh.
search
Yeah,
Las
drive-through-
Vegas drive-through strip club. 말도 안 되는 소리 하고
drive-through.
있어요.
있으면 어쩔 거야. 있으면 어쩔 거야.
야, 이씨.
있으면 어쩔 건데. But I was like, I don't understand the concept of a drive-through peep show
Right.
because you don't need to have a car. All you need to do is have binoculars, and you can still see it.
No, well, I remember when I was growing up in New York, like in the 80s, early 90s, I lived in
Times
Times
Square.
Square.
See, I told you.
March 20th, 2020, a Las Vegas strip club is offering drive-through shows, nude hand sanitizer, wrestling, and an insider. What does
Wait,
that mean?
what nude? What?
It's like
hand sanitizer.
have you ever seen mud wrestling?
Yeah.
But or like lube wrestling?
Yeah.
But it's hand sanitizer wrestling. You just fighting in Purell.
Oh my goodness.
They're fighting in hand sanitizer.
Oh my goodness.
Hey.
No,
Dude.
our world.
I mean, I
live
remember
in
in the
strange
80s and
times.
90s there were peep shows.
I remember in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. But in Times Square, I lived in Times Square around that area, and it was all peep shows back then. It's because I lived there. I knew. I didn't actually go to them. But
많이 알아,
anyway.
많이 알아. 여기는 동전 2개 넣으면.
But there was apparently you've seen it in movies and stuff. You put in a
I've been to
quarter or
one.
whatever, and then the blind opens,
Yeah.
and then you get to see a show,
Yeah.
a peep show, right?
Yeah.
But there's a glass in between you, so there's no way that you like bodily fluids can
Interact.
interact, and so maybe that's coming back, like
But in your car,
through
in your car,
strip shows,
dude.
You gotta wipe down your
That's like
car
that,
after.
and like that's the same thing with movies. Like drive-in theaters are doing better,
Right.
right? It's the same concept. Like you stay in your car and you go to a bachelor party in your car, basically, bachelorette party. You know,
Woo!
let's all drive up in separate cars. Like, I don't know.
PayPaling the stripper like dollars.
Venmoing,
right? Here. Here's a dollar. Here's a dollar.
No, but actually, this is funny because, like last week, SoundCloud, right, and what is it?
Spotify?
Twitch. Twitch. There's an app that you can download. The kids these days use
the
Twitch.
video game.
Yes.
Yeah, but Twitch, there's this thing where you can tip people or give them money, actual money.
Right.
And so for musicians, we got everyone on SoundCloud. We got this invitation to join Twitch, and you have to have a certain amount of numbers or a certain amount of hours in order to qualify for monetization. But they're like waiving those numbers and stuff like that, so you can start making money right away by doing shows at home.
Because because I know comics right now that if you're a full-time stand-up comic back home, you're fucked. You can't make any money, right? Because like people go, well, there's some comedy clubs that are doing live streaming at the club, and I was like, yeah, without an audience, like that's hard to do stand-up comedy.
No interaction.
That's awful, right? So ultimately, a lot of them are hurting for money, so they're resorting to like Twitch or like those types of platforms. I mean, even in Korea, I haven't performed in a month. And so,
that's right. You haven't done any shows.
Yeah, and so like I mean, there aren't any real full-time stand-up comics in Korea.
Is that why you when we do the podcast you try new material?
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Because you're bored.
Yes.
You're okay.
This is where I tell all my jokes,
I've heard them all. I've heard them all.
And I'll be like, "Chogita, now I'm gonna fucking, how do I say that in Korean?"
Just taking notes.
Right in my head. But this is how comics write. Some of them don't sit down and write. They just go on podcasts and shoot the shit and be like, "Oh, that's funny," right? So
a lot of comics. So we should probably invite some stand-up comics onto the podcast.
That's a great idea.
The Korean
That's
comics?
a great idea.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm down to call all of them. But you're gonna have a hard time communicating with them.
Even that'll be even funnier.
Yeah.
내가 한국말로 다 하고.
한국말로 다 하고.
So that's why when he speaks in Korean, I hold my breath. It's like we're driving through it.
Where is he trying to take this? Right?
Yeah. It's like you're driving through a tunnel, and sometimes I have that.
시발 너 몇 살이야?
시발 너 몇 살이야? So adorbs. Speaking of, we have this corner called Dear Korea.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And since we have our first guest, and I asked you, Hannah,
yes.
to come up with a Dear Korea topic. So what did you bring up or think about for our Dear Korea topic?
Well, I really thought about it. And there's so many great things about Korea, and there's so many things that we can improve. But like going back to even 2011, when I was really struggling financially, the one thing that I was always just so thankful for was how affordable the public transportation was. A bus or even a subway at the time was, I think, 900won at the time. At the time it was. And then it went up to like 950won, and then it went up to 1,000won, and then it went up to 1,050won, and now it's like what, 1,200won, 300won or something like that.
Yeah, it's
but
whatever T-Money charges me.
It's still so affordable.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's still so affordable. Where in the world can you go on a subway for like $1, you know?
Yeah.
In New York City, what is it, like $4?
It's ridiculous.
It's for one ride. And plus, the system is so well done too. The colors and then like transferring, and it's just so easy to get from place to place. Whereas in Manhattan, it doesn't make any sense. Like the routes, I don't know who made it, and I just kind of look at it and I'm kind of like, you have to be used to it for you to make it. Oh, that's easy.
To me, it's easy because I'm smart. So
I'm not very smart. I'm really not very smart. But
no, but coming from Jersey, also no, that's not the punchline. But crossing, like for instance, crossing the Lincoln Tunnel or the George Washington Bridge, it's like $20.
Oh yeah,
or
now it's
something,
20.
Right?
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
Do you
The
know?
toll?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
Wait, so do you know about the carpool system? Do you know about this?
Yeah, you can actually like. There's a carpool place. You can just wait for a car to pick you up.
So I will
weird.
like. Can I explain this really quick? Do you guys have time? Or
Yeah,
no?
yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is really interesting, and I've actually tried it a few times, but I also think it's super dangerous.
Yeah.
From getting into New York to New Jersey. I mean, from New Jersey to New York, you have to cross the George Washington Bridge, right?
Yeah.
And that toll is like $20. However, if you take the carpool, they give you a discount,
Yeah.
which is really cheap. Much cheaper than if you were to go. So if you're commuting from New Jersey to New York, right? You wouldn't just go by yourself. You would want people in the car with you.
Yeah.
As carpoolers. So what they do is they have a line set up under the bridge of the George Washington Bridge, right? In a place called Fort Lee. And you can just go into a random stranger's car.
Yeah.
And then they'll take you across the bridge for free. No questions asked. You don't even say hi to each other. You get in. How you doing? And you go. You get off.
I think they do that also in the Bay Area in San Francisco as well. There's a carpool system
Yeah.
where you take strangers in your car.
In your car. And they just
It's
get
not
off.
happening now with the social distancing.
I'm
like,
not
but-
comfortable with this idea, man.
Isn't that
Yeah,
so
it feels
scary?
weird.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've done it.
But
You have?
I've done it. But you know, when I get there, I get to that like the carpool area, right? I try to go for like the Benz or the Porsche or like, the nice car.
Or your pass.
Yeah, I just wait, and then I wait for the nice car, and I'm like, all right, this is my ride. I get on that
You're
one.
like,
It's like
Nissan Altima. What the fuck?
But
Fuck
you
that,
gotta
get
do it
out.
with some Nunchi though.
Yeah, exactly.
When,
me too.
when it's your turn and you don't want to get in that car, you just like pretend like you're at Costco in line, holding the line for somebody, and you get to the front and it's not your turn. I was like, oh wait a minute, go ahead to the person behind you.
Another thing is I always try to get in with a lot of people at once, just in case this is like a kidnap. You know, like I make sure like there's like 3 people in the car with me, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that could actually work in Korea. I know but I mean, we don't really have that system of tolling in the city, but it could. I would feel more safe here with all the CCTV and all the things in place here.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, like going back to public transportation, it's something that I didn't take public transportation back home, right? Because I thought it was, it felt like, how do you say? Like in LA, when you see people ride the bus, everyone looks fucking miserable. So I kind of thought of it as like only really miserable people ride the bus, right?
And
And
I used to ride the bus to work.
Yeah.
for a year.
And so I was like, oh man, I don't want to be like them. And LA's more of a commuting, driving town, right?
Yeah.
And then in Korea, when I got here, I was like, when I came here to visit, I never took public transportation. And you know how I hated it when I first got here, just to like visit. But then living here, I'm like, fuck it, man, that's too expensive to cab it everywhere.
Wait, so the Dear Korea aspect is please
Keep it cheap.
Keep it
Keep
cheap.
it cheap.
Yeah, right?
It was so affordable for me at the time, and I can get from place to place anywhere in 30 minutes, I think. I would have to say anywhere.
And it's still like relatively cheap. Yeah,
it is
right?
even now.
And the model bus is only like Parabeg one,
yeah,
right?
it's a lot cheaper,
Yeah.
right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, Dear Korea, please maintain cheap public transportation.
Yeah, and actually we're actually right out of time now, so we're gonna have to wrap up and thank our guest, our first guest on the Nunchi podcast.
So Hannah, where can people find you?
I only have an Instagram page. That's
Okay.
it. It's at Hanna HANNA.co.kr.
And also, if you have a radio, go listen to her from 6 to 8 p.m. on TBS EFM, The Scoop.
Yeah, and let us know if you want us to have Hannah back or not.
I'll be back.
Yeah, well,
Email us.
Even if
We'd
you
love
guys
to have
don't
you
want
back,
to,
actually.
even if you guys don't want it, I'll be back.
I'd be like, "Chet to 왔어."
눈치 없이 또 왔어.
It's called a Nunchi podcast. Nunchi 없어.
With that, thanks guys for tuning in this week, and Danny and I will be back again, hopefully sooner than later. But our first guest. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Is the
guys.
closing music coming out? I'm just about now. This is my favorite.
안녕히
안녕히 계세요. 감사합니다. 수고하셨습니다.